shows them a demonstration of the offer, tells them who it's for, tell them the 3 to 5 steps, how it works, and then tells them how much if they want to go get it. That's our stupid simple funnel. And if you can nail those 3 things, if you can nail their problem, the outcome, and a different and desirable plan, you're going to close a lot of calls. I don't care when you do it. I don't care how long it takes you. Like, if you can do it in 2 hours instead of 8, great. You get 6 hours of like personal time to just use. All I want are outcomes. We're back. And shit's getting exciting over here. I see you guys are kicking ass, making shit happen, which is why I love you guys so much. You guys are all about intentional living. It's been actually a little bit of a rough period here. I've just probably been a little exhausted from travel and putting on an awesome live event, which was badass. My kids, by the way, a random factoid, are super into 80s music these days. So we're listening to Bon Jovi and The Outfield. I just want to use your love tonight. Right now we got some aquatic ambiance, which is from Donkey Kong Country. Who would have known some monkeys from Super Nintendo swimming in the ocean would have such a deep, profound meaning? Anyways, you guys, just want to mention real quick, we're filling up in the Wolfpack, but if you guys are interested, I pinned as a comment. The deets should be below. And I don't have much to tell you about that other than that. If you're interested, check it out. All the pricing, all the cool stuff, what we're doing is all inside there. Other than that, let's get into the good stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Frankie Finn proudly brings you our weekly Q&A. Bum-bum-bum-bum. First we got up, Chic says, hey guys, I want to share my first experience running local lead Facebook ads for a chiropractor, and I need the help of an expert. I acquired the client under the condition of generating at least 40 to 50 leads with a $400 ad spend, as I heard that the average lead cost for chiropractors is $5. So on day one, I created one campaign with 4 ad sets and only one creative. I set the budget at $5 per ad set, totaling $20 per day, and I let it run for 2 days. After 48 hours, I received 2 leads from one ad set, 1 lead from another ad set, and no leads from the remaining 2. The CPM was high at $25. Regardless, I turned off the 3 ads that didn't generate leads, decided to continue. Then I duplicated the winning ad set, created more variations. However, all 3 have entered the learning phase. I spent $45 hoping they would exit the learning phase. Next, I created a new campaign with 2 different creatives, but I kept the age and targeting the same. I started running the new campaign, but once again, it entered the learning phase, increased the audience size from 60K to 300K. Now, someone please tell me what to do. I've already spent around $300 and need to generate 25, 30 leads to retain the client. All right, Chic. This sounds like an ad issue question, and it is not. This is an expectation question in disguise, because what happens is if you promise to a client, best case scenario, I'm going to get you super cheap $5 leads, and that's what they're expecting, then anything worse than that is going to make you look bad. I heard a lawyer explain expectations to me so stupid simple once. He said, when people come to me and they've been in a car accident, they have no fucking idea what to expect, which means they're looking for me for what's supposed to happen. And he said, if I tell them that I think we can get $15,000 and we get 10, they think I'm the worst lawyer in history. But if I tell them I think we can get 10 and we get 15, they say, you guys got to see how awesome and amazing my lawyer is. So you are generating leads for this client. They're just not as cheap as you thought they would be. And this is a thing that I don't think enough people understand in our fucking industry. And I wish I could shout this from the rooftop. It's not just about making promises that get you sales. It's about making small but meaningful promises that can also actually be fulfilled on. So the minute you said, I guarantee you we can get you 40 leads and they're going to be $5 a piece or whatever it is, that's when you immediately created an uphill battle. And so what you want to do is focus on, like I always say, the best small but meaningful promise you can make is one of something. Right? Like, what's one type of patient that you could bring a chiropractor for sure and focus on just getting them the first one for a reasonable amount of money? Like, if I just said, hey, I'm going to get you one of like a car crash kind of person, because like chiropractors also work with a lot of people who've been injured in accidents. So I'm going to get you one of those people for $500 in ad spend. They'd probably be pretty happy. So you guys don't want to get into situations where you're making promises and getting clients, but then creating circumstances where you can't possibly fucking fulfill on that. I had somebody message me the other day and they said, with our cold outreach system, we can get you to an extra $300,000 to $500,000 per month. And I thought, what a crazy high promise. Because, like, what happens if they make me $75,000 a month? Am I going to fire them and say, fuck you guys, you're doing terrible, right? So you don't want to get in situations where you're overextending yourself with promises, especially when you don't have data, right? Like, if you ran the campaign 40 times already for other chiropractors and you know for sure they're $10 leads, then tell them 15, tell them 20. But in your case, you're promising something that you can't possibly fulfill on, and it's going to be really hard for you to keep the client. So this is not an ads issue because they're working, right? You're getting leads. They're just higher than you thought they would be. This is like one of those things I see all the time. It's an expectation setting issue in disguise. And that's my way of saying, don't fucking overpromise shit. Focus on small but meaningful promises that can actually be delivered, and you're going to look way better in the eyes of your clients. Nazish says, hey Frankie, I'm so lost for finding leads. I've connected people through LinkedIn and Instagram. I've run Facebook ads, 0 response. I'm scared for emailing them because if my domain gets marked as spam, third parties will put me in a black hole. I don't know what to do. Well, firstly, Nazish, you can't go after client acquisition scared. So I want you to get that out of your kind of system. You have to be, it's like, especially in the beginning stages, which it sounds like you're in, you got to be like super proactive about it. It's not some like weak thing where you gotta like hope and pray clients come in the door. Now, having said that, almost always it's an issue of like more than anything else, what you're offering is not something people want. And the biggest mistake I see with outreach messages is understand that when you do outreach, what you're doing is you're building relationships at scale. This is my hand signal for relationships at scale. And so what I mean by that is what people get wrong. The number one thing is they write messages that sound like a guy trying to get laid at a bar. And they basically boil down to like, hey, you don't know me, but buy my shit. And the goal, by the way, of message one is not to get people to buy your shit. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but it's just to open a buying conversation. And often the close happens in step 2 or 3, 4, or even sometimes step 5. It'll come a little bit later, but you have to open a buying conversation and get them to say, yes, I'm interested, tell me more. So if you think about like a guy who's like desperate at a bar trying to get laid, what they normally do is some form of like, hey baby, do you want to bang? And if nobody responds, they just go to the next person and they use the same message on everybody. This is what most outreach feels like to people on the receiving end. It's just some copy and paste, buy my shit kind of thing. And for the most part, gets mentally marked as ignore. I think, one of the things that helped me at least is that I had to sell, like only sold chocolate bars door to door, but I sold face to face, right? So like you see the response you get from people if you say something different or do something different. I think too many people just go right in for like, hey baby, do you want to bang? In a good opening message is something that is basically the correct response to an opening message is curiosity. High ticket sales in general, whether that's coaching, consulting, agency services, or anything like franchising or any of that, all of those kind of high ticket offers, they begin first with curiosity. So the response you're looking for from message one is not, I'm going to throw my credit card at you. It's more like, that sounds interesting, tell me more about it. And so when people like word vomit the entire pitch in a single message, it's almost guaranteed to backfire. So what I've found for us that works really well, my outreach messages are super simple. They're usually like a sentence or two. Like, hey, saw you were up to this. Do you think this would be a fit for you? Like, it's really like, they're almost so fucking stupid simple, like people can't wrap their head around it. Because when I see outreach messages, they're almost always like 45 sentences long and you want to sell them the whole thing in a single message. That's not how outreach works. It'd be like walking up to a girl on the street and saying, hey, do you want to bang? Instead, you want to go like, hey, like I found something interesting about you and I thought we'd be a good fit to talk together because of blah, blah, blah. You open to having a little chat. Like that's a better opener than, or hey, I thought you were cute. would it be okay if we had a little 30-second conversation, right? Like, that's a better opener than like, hey, baby, do you want to bang? Ironically, it will get you laid more. So the thing that I see people doing all the time wrong is like this 45-page word salad, copy and paste, do you want to buy my shit? And all of those, it's just ignore. Like, people who are doing that for the most part aren't really having success. And all this idea that you need like email servers and shit like that. I've been doing outreach for almost 20 years. I don't have fucking email servers. My Gmail's never been blacklisted because I don't just randomly fucking message strangers unless I actually think they're a good fit for any number of reasons. And everything is done like personalized, and you can actually have far more effect doing less but better. So I hope that's helpful. I know it's a little bit of a rant, but I get so many questions about outreach from people like who are struggling with it, and almost always like it comes down to the same copy and paste automated shit. It's like thinking there's a magic script that's going to get you laid. It doesn't fucking exist. You got to actually talk with people and have real conversation and solve a real world problem that they actually want solved. If you do that, you'll find your outreach works a lot better. So a little bit of a rant, but I hope that's helpful. Dustin says, who can get me an accurate list of business owners in my target niche? There's a few places you can go. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Coldlytics. If you use the code Frankie50, you'll get free 50 credits. And they're also really good. One of the reasons I like Coldlytics is they can narrow down the buyers, and they can actually get you the person's email and not the catch-all email. So, like, the catch-all email, the front desk email is like info@dentistoffice.com, but they can get you dentist name at dentistoffice.com. I think that's a big distinction if you can actually talk to the owner directly. There's also a really cool thing called Data Axle, which has been used for, 20, 30 years to come up with direct mail lists, but you can also use them for email lists and things like that. Those are my two favorites, by the way, Coldlytics and Data Axle, if you're going to use one of those. So I hope that's helpful, my man. Josh says, team, I got a fucking hand raised for Rev-Share in the plastic surgery niche. First ever. Big ups to Frankie for the advice and the material. Here's my sitch. I currently have GHL for my agency only, no sub accounts. I also have a burner domain warming up. Talking to the lead next week to see what kind of deal we'd use. For the outreach, I thought of a couple possible options, plus the burner into my GHL and just put all their info from and reply to fields in the campaign. If they use Gmail, use an extension like Gmass and send from their side. Get them to sign up for 2-week trial for GHL and send from there. Then later on, walk them up the value ladder, send them more stuff, whereby they become a paying customer using our affiliate link, not using white label yet, as our agency is 3 weeks old and don't have the room to upgrade to $400 per month. Anyone else been in this situation before? If you have any other advice regarding this kind of deal, I could run for them all ears. Ric Flair for attention, because I will soon be styling and profiling. My man. Firstly, I sometimes see, so I have friends one of my friends is a coach and mentor in the real estate space. He's done a lot of deals. And I asked him one time and I said, what's the biggest problem you see with people in the real estate niche, like struggling to get this thing off the ground? And he said, almost always they're worried about step 217 when they just need to worry about step 1 in front of them. And so he says, they start obsessing about title companies and right type of LLC and who's gonna handle the tax burden and all those things, when meanwhile they just need to go get fucking leads and talk to real estate people. So I see similar stuff like this where people are assuming they need software and they need tools and they need all the setup and they need complexity. And the ideal setup for a revenue share deal is you want to use their own resources and test as fast as possible. So Dan Kennedy did an awesome example of this years ago where he did this for a plastic surgeon, and they offered like a buffet of come get unlimited plastic surgery for 6 months for $100,000. And they simply mailed out an offer to all the existing clients and offer them the chance to get more of the thing they just bought. And so I think you can do this kind of thing just with their own email software, sending it to their people and simply offering them an upsell or more of what they just bought. I don't think you need burner accounts and things like that. Like, I usually tell clients, just give me access to your thing and I'll send out a little test campaign, and we'll know from the test campaign whether or not it's going to work and whether or not we should do more. So I think people get caught up in I need to go high level, I need follow-ups, I need outreach, I need all those things. And that to me is step 317. When I'm running a revenue share deal, it's just get me in your email, let's send out a test offer and see if anybody raises their hand and says, I would be interested in that offer. If it works, by the way, feel free to add complexity with follow-ups and text messages and outreach or whatever it is you want to do, or appointment setters. But like, I just like stupid fucking simple. Like, I write emails that can be written on a napkin, send them to their people. If they don't have an email list in the past, I've just like copied and pasted it all into like a BCC field where I create like client name at gmail.com and put their name in the to and from field and just send it out to their people as a blind carbon copy. Like, I don't think you need all these tools yet. So like, keep it fucking stupid simple, my man, and just put an offer in front of the people and see what happens. And usually what you'll find more often than not is they would buy it because they're happy with the business, and if they simply offered them more. But I don't think you need all the software complexity. Use their software, use their list, make those people a stupid simple offer. And we usually just do, thank you so much, we appreciate you. That's why we put together this extra special offer for our most valued people. Here's the details of the offer. If you're interested in it, let us know. And you can have them like email, call you, text you, fill out a form, whatever the next sort of step is. Do that. Chris says, hey guys, so I'm running Frankie's Ingenious 5-cent buyer ads on YouTube's via the dinner and show approach. Now, my videos aren't amazing, getting better with every new one, but had 3 questions. Is the below engagement good, bad, or average? Is the retention on the landing, the video they land on, good, bad, or average? What is people's usual call to action? Call, text, email, schedule, link, and is it best done by video or description? Any help would be greatly appreciated by those who have gone before. At Frankie Finn, I'm new here. If this violates, you can delete the post. No hard feelings here. No, it's all good, my man. So for those of you guys who aren't familiar, I did a training on YouTube called the 5-cent buyer ads, and it's a way we're basically running ads at scale to get buyers to come out of the woodwork. In fact, we're only showing ads to people that have known buying histories, meaning they actually actively spend and use their credit card now and today in a certain industry. By just meeting them at a different stage in the journey, right? So that's the whole secret. I mean, if you guys want to watch the training, I go into more detail. Having said that, I think people get caught up in looking at the wrong metrics. I don't look at engagement. I don't look at likes. I don't even look at watch time. I don't care about any of those things. The question I'm always asking myself in any of our paid media is very simple. Are the right people coming out the other side of the ads, and is it done in a way where it's cost effective, meaning like can I repeat this at scale? And that's really it. That's all I look for in paid ads. I don't care how many people like the video. I have videos that actually have been seen like as ads like hundreds of thousands of times, and they have like 1 like, and I don't care. Because I'm not worried about likes because the ads are working. So that's the most important thing. And usually, as a general guideline, depending on your niche, you can pay about $100 to $250, depending on how competitive it is, per sales inquiry. Meaning, if you spend $250 and somebody says, like, hey, I'm interested, tell me more about that, we're potentially going to hire something like that, what'll happen is if you close 1 in 4 or 5, the math's going to work, right? Like, if you got a $2,000 a month service and you're getting calls at $250 a piece, or like we do through text and like over Loom, $250 a piece, then what happens is it'll cost you, say you close 1 in 5, then you're going to spend $1,250 to make $2,000 a month. The math just works. It'll work again and again. So that's the biggest thing I look for is like $100 to $250 per sales inquiry. Having said that, like, are there indicators like they actually watching it, consuming it? Absolutely. I call those micro indicators, but you don't want to make the micro indicators be the most important thing. Because I've seen people who have like full calendars of like 40 hours a week of calls, and they're all the fucking wrong people on the call. They're like broke people who aren't in that industry or don't have the money or all kinds of different reasons why they're not a fit. And you can do more damage with having like 4 of the right people. So that's the number one question I'm asking myself is through the entirety of the system, are the right people coming out the other side? Second thing is our call to action on our ad is really simple. We do what's called a hand raiser, which is a summary. It's a 1 to 3 sentence summary of the offer. It says if you're interested in finding out more, click here. We got a little video we're going to show you. Little bonus tip. YouTube charges you if somebody watches 30 seconds of your ad. So I really extend that call to action because you don't pay any more or less money. And a lot of times the ad's over before people can click. But I hold out my call to action like 20, 25 seconds. That's a long time compared to most stuff. But it gives people time to click it. And then if they're interested, it just drives them to our standard Loom video, which is like our conversion asset we use, which is just like shows them a demonstration of the offer, tells them who it's for, tell them the 3 to 5 steps, how it works, and then tells them how much if they want to go get it. That's our stupid simple funnel is summary of the offer to here's the actual full length offer. If you're interested, click here. Here's how you can get it. And that's really it. So hope that's helpful for you guys because no need to make these like crazy complicated funnels. What I found is people won't raise their hand for the offer. You don't like need to add a whole bunch more shit. So, I mean, I keep it like really stupid simple. Nicholas, this wasn't a question, but I just thought Nikki Two Angels had a good idea. He said, today I'm doing something interesting. It's a mindset thing. Also a test to see how long click to mail takes to send, how long it takes the postal person to deliver. But I wrote an encouraging letter to myself and sending it through click to mail. But for the mindset thing, just to take time to write myself some encouraging words felt really good. Mindset, by the way, is the fucking game because I see people, the hardest part about all of this in entrepreneurship in general, it's fucking delayed gratification, meaning like it's just like exercise. Like if you start exercising today, all you're going to get today and tomorrow is fucking soreness. Like you're going to be a sore ass motherfucker. It'll be 3 to 6, 12 months before you really look in the mirror and love what you see. And business is like that, right? So the hardest part for people is to keep your mind on point when you're in the difficult phases. Alex Hormozy had an awesome talk about this. He said, if you think about a marathon is 26 miles, 40 kilometers for our metric folks over there. It's long, and it takes a long time to run. And what happens is at the beginning of the race, everybody applauds and says, you can do it. And at the end of the race, when the finish line is in sight, they're like, yay, you're going to make it. But you know where most of the race is? It's from like mile 2 to like 25, where it just feels like you're running forever. There's no end in sight. It's really hard. The whole thing's a grind, and there's no visual progress or any sign of a finish line. You're just putting one foot in front of another over and over and over, and it doesn't feel like you're making it anywhere. That is business in a nutshell. And so the hardest part of mindset is from like mile 3 to like 23 in the middle, when it's a grind, when you don't feel like you're getting there, when all you have to show for it is soreness, and to train yourself to keep showing up and putting in the reps and doing basic processes again and again and again that fucking win. And so I'm all for anything that helps you do that, whatever that is for you. For me, I like to remind myself what I'm doing it all for, like reconnecting to the why, to the purpose of it. And for me, it's really simple. It's just like, I love what I do, and I love the people I do it with, and so like they're worth it, and so I just remind myself of those people. You may have a different set of reasons. I also do it for my family, so like, but it helps to connect with your why and your purpose over and over, because most of entrepreneurship, man, it's like, you get to celebrate when you finish the race, and you get to celebrate when you start, but most of it is like, it's mostly discouraging, in the trenches. Nobody in your world understands what you're going through, and it's fucking difficult, and it's a grind at times, and it's hard. And, I'm all for, by the way, having mentors and stuff like that to speed that up. But, like, understand that you need to have mindset strength to be able to make it through the difficult phases of it. So I like the letter in the mail. That's a cool thing. I would say, like, do that as a regular thing, not just as a once in a while kind of thing. Jennifer says, curious, how do you build out your one core package and price that if there are many different variables within a core package? For example, SEO could range from $800 to $1,500 depending on city size or competition. PPC management ad fee could vary depending on how much their ad spend would be. Jennifer, you are alluding to two kind of things. Thing number one is the biggest variable in an offer is actually who you do it for. It is not the offer itself. It is not the deliverable. It's not the fact that you do SEO. I see this all the time. I have friends, by the way, who charge in the personal injury space SEO anywhere from like $10,000 a month to, on the high side, $70,000 per month. That is not a typo or a mistake. Yes, they almost charge $1 million per year to run SEO. And then I have people who do this for like $500 to $1,500. And they say, what's the difference? And they think it's about city and size and competition. It's not about any of those things. It's just about who you're doing it for. The bigger, the more up-level, kind of the more extravagant client you do it for, the bigger and more successful their business is already. And usually it's proportional to how big their payroll is. The bigger and more important payroll is to meet, the bigger and more important it is, they're going to take their thing seriously. So that's the first thing, is figure out who your who is, and your offer will make more sense automatically just by doing that. And by the way, it's almost always a niche within a niche. It's not, I do this for lawyers. It's I do this for personal injury law firms who spend at least $50,000 a month on TV ads, and also who have a staff between 5 and 50 lawyers, right? So like that's a very specific niche, and you want to think about the niche within the niche. Second thing is, I think not enough people understand, and this is not the whole complexity of an offer, but I want to make it easier for you guys to understand, is a high ticket transformational offer, which we sell, is almost always like one of the biggest pieces of it is the outcome it creates, which comes from the client and not from you. So when you finish SEO and they're ranking and something happens in their world, what is that? Because that's a different outcome for a plumber as it is for a dentist, as it is for, I don't know, a butcher or a candlestick maker, whatever, right? Like, so you want to think about like an irresistible offer is an irresistible outcome. So if you finish the SEO and something has happened in their world, what could it be? And I'll tell you, it might be just like you're going to get 30 to 50 phone calls a month, or it might be I'm going to help you get more consistent work for your crew of guys so they're not standing around, or I'm going to keep your hygienist chair busy and full of people, right? So like you want to think about what does your niche really want? And by the way, the easiest way to find out is to ask them what they're stuck on, and the opposite of that is true, right? So like if you ask a dentist, they'll tell you, I hate when the hygienist chair is empty because I'm paying her $80,000 to $90,000 a year, and instead she's costing me money instead of making it. So the outcome they'd be after, if you know the problem, you know the outcome. They want the chair full. They want the hygienist making money. They want her pulling down, $150 an hour or whatever it is, and paying her 40 or whatever it is. So if you're confused about the offer, almost always you don't have clarity about who it's for, and you don't have clarity about the outcome. If and I would nail those two things in that order. Figure out who are we really after, and if you're not sure, the best way is think about past clients and think about who has my stuff worked the best for. That's your ideal who. And then the second thing is nail the outcome, and watch your stuff will just like convert better. It'll be tighter. It'll be stronger. All that. Jay says, on a discovery call, how many questions should I aim at asking, Jay? So a lot of times I think people ask the wrong question. This to me is asking the wrong question because there is no set number of like questions you're supposed to ask on a sales call. It's not like the client goes, okay, they've asked me 30 questions, now I can buy from them. What you really, really, really want to think about most in this is asking the right questions. And I'll tell you, there's 3 primary buckets that if you can nail in a sales call, you're going to close more often than not. So one of those is getting specific clarity about the problem they're trying to solve. The hygienist chair is empty and I need somebody in it. Okay, like you want clarity about what it is they're trying to solve. And this is, by the way, where most of the sales call is going to happen, is getting them clear about what problem they're actually trying to solve. The second thing is, the flip side of that is what outcome would make them happy. And almost always, if you figure out the problem, you can almost by association know the outcome. Like if somebody says, hey, I got a dance studio and half my classes are empty, what do you think they would want as an outcome? Full classes, right? Like it's very obvious that if you know the problem is a half empty class on Tuesday, then they want Tuesday to be full, right? So if you have clarity about the problem, the outcome they want, and then the third piece is what they've tried already, because you're going to have to present your plan to solve that problem. And if you can nail those 3 things, if you can nail their problem, the outcome, and a different and desirable plan, you're going to close a lot of calls. So how many questions should you ask? As many questions as it takes to get to those things, and you got to let the person talk. It's more, one of the biggest things is people are trying to rush to solve those problems, because like if somebody says like, hey, I haven't been happy with our sales. It's tendency to want to go, oh, well, we can help you with that, and start closing right away. But you actually have to go deeper. Just like if a friend said to you, something's not working in my life, I'm unhappy with my relationship, you'd say, well, what's going on, man? You wouldn't go, well, we have the solution right here for 10 easy payments of $29.99, right? So you want to think about like those 3 things is nail what problem are they experiencing right now, and how does that show up specifically in their life? What outcome would make them happy, and what is your different and desirable plan for solving that? And a good place to start that discussion is understanding what they've tried in the past. If you nail that, your sales calls are going to work even if you have no formal sales training, because that's essentially what high-ticket sales are in a nutshell. Jamie, our man Jaime, says, what management tool are you using for your virtual assistants? I'll tell you, okay, Jamie. So I used a lot of tools for trying to manage them and track them and do all those things. I used to use for a lot of years a software called Time Doctor. And Time Doctor, which probably is still around, I don't know. I haven't used it in like 5, 6, 7 years. It's been a while, but I'm sure it's still around. But Time Doctor would set it up so that the employee would click a button and would log into work time, and then it would take a picture of their screen every 10, 15 minutes and record all the websites they visit and give you a report. And then at the end of their 8-hour shift, they could click end the work day and go back to like just normal browsing, surfing if they want to watch porn or cartoons or whatever. Go for it. But here's the thing I found out is it was when I did all that stuff, I was tracking for the wrong variables. I was trying to keep people busy. I was trying to keep them at a screen. And so my virtual assistants, they were trying to stretch things out in time, and they had that employee mentality. As where what I focused on now, and this has been so much better, is just empowering people to outcomes. And what that means for me is like, I don't care when you do it. I don't care how long it takes you. Like if you can do it in 2 hours instead of 8, great. You get 6 hours of like personal time to just use. All I want are outcomes, and that's the only tool we use to manage employees besides a project management tool, which we use Asana, although there's lots of good ones. I just like Asana because it's stupid simple. It's just like digital to-do lists, which my brain works in to-do lists, as you guys may have seen many times. I just dropped some papers. So that's how I want you guys to really think about it, is don't try and use all these tools to manage people, is hold people to outcomes and watch how much easier your management will get done. Is like empower them to solve problems, to get things done, to create outputs, because I just tell them like it's only outputs I'm after. Like I want, in the case of like my video editor, I want good videos edited. Like you don't need to spend 27 hours in front of a screen editing just to justify your work week. I just want good videos when they're finished, right? Get them done. Or, we got a content person who distributes our content. Like I just want our content put out there, nice thumbnail, looking good, done continuously, consistently. When or where or how you do it, those details are up to you. And what's come out of this is, by the way, I see my employees where they travel more, like they do more cool stuff because they're not held to this like ruthless system of just trying to keep people working for 8 hours. Why? Like I don't believe in that stuff for me, so I don't want my employees to be in that thing. So I would actually say the best tool is no tools other than a project management, just to track where everything is at and to have a central place of communication. But other than that, I don't think you need any tools to manage VAs. The more I do this, the less tools I want to have. Because I'll tell you, one of the things, I don't know if anybody else has experienced this, but I've had 10 to 30 new software tools I've learned per year since 2007. And they they come and go, and they last like 2-3 years, and then they're gone. I'm so sick of learning more software. I don't want more software. I just want shit to get done. So I hope that helps you, because I don't think you need to do all those things. As I mentioned, by the way, for those of you guys who missed the beginning, we got some details on the Wolfpack. I pinned that as a top comment. We are just about full. I'm adding actually a done for you component so that the heavy hitters in your industry, you basically just going to get booked meetings and essentially guarantee not just sales, but like what I call sales partners, like referral sources, people who send you deals over and over and send you clients not just once, but continuously and ongoing, which is, I think, a better way of doing it. Like, for example, as I'm doing this water damage 90-day challenge, they get a lot of their business from plumbers. If a water damage person gets just one busy active plumber, that plumber can send them business over and over and over and over and over and over. So that's a little bit about how we do it different in the Wolfpack, is everybody else is trying to chase deals, onesie, twosie, whether that's through outreach or paid ads. And we're focused on going after deal sources where people who can send you business again and again and again and again and again and again, so that when you get quote unquote one client, that's really like can translate to millions of dollars per year worth of business. So hope that makes sense. I hope that's helpful for you guys. If you guys are interested, I put a link below. Check that out. You can go to beyondagencyprofits.com/Wolfpack. And once we're full, we're full. I haven't probably promoted it enough this year, but been a little busy, and the last few weeks have been a little tiring and exhausting. But those of you guys with young kids know the boat I'm in. It's just tiring having young kids. So I don't always look and feel my best, but I always try and show up my best. And that's all I got for you guys this week. Much love. Appreciate you guys. And may the force be with you. Guys, if you like this video, you're also going to want to grab some free bonuses, which you can get at our website, Beyond Agency Profits. To make it easy for you, I've put the links to it in the description of this video, as well as pinned in the top comment. And we've got a couple of awesome things. This is what you'll get after you sign up. You get some of our best training, how we're closing clients over Loom videos, how we sometimes sign clients that is not a misprint for under $5 US, how to demonstrate your value in like amazing ways, trainings, how to have your clients write the best copy of your life, how we're closing without phone calls, campaigns that we've generated for clients that have done over $100,000, as well as scripts you can use to get conversations going with clients in under 10 minutes. All you got to simply do is go there, enter your name and email address, and then this is what you'll see on the other side. So if that's interesting to you, make sure to click the links below, and I will see you on the other side.